The reason that we have not done this sooner is Christie was kind enough to give me her diseases
Just one.
because she's an awesome wife and I
like
love
to
her
share.
so much.
I like to share.
But yeah, this has not been a very good one for me. I still have an incredible headache and I think my voice, just a little weird. So, how are you doing? It's been very strange for us. We have not done a tremendous amount over the last few days just because I've been sick. Christy's actually been working hard.
Yes, like usual.
Like usual, and I'm okay with that because she is an awesome, amazing spouse who takes care of me because I take care of her when I need to. Sadly, I get sicker than her, so I feel bad for her a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Today you're doing more showings. I appreciate that. I'm being left alone only because I do need to heal up here. More lastly, because if anything goes wrong with these lungs, they're old and decrepit. They are. And they're having a tough time fighting off whatever the heck this is. So yeah. What's going on in your world? Have you guys had any strange diseases that you want to talk about? Unless it's one that's given to you by another person. It's being strange.
What a drama queen.
No, the diseases I'm talking about there were just a little bit more different.
Oh, those diseases.
Yes, exactly. So we had a wonderful, wonderful evening last night with some friends, and they invited us over for dinner, and it was so spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lovely couple. Lovely, lovely. And we knew we would love these people the moment that we met them.
Yeah.
Because the wife...
They started out as clients.
The husband, she's walking in front of her husband, and he said something kind of sharp to her, but it was like a teasing way. And she gives him both fingers behind her back. And Christy's like, oh, I'm going to love these people. So, yeah, because that's something that Christy does all the time. Morning, Pat.
Oh, baby. Morning, Mom.
Hello, hello. So that was that. Monday, I think the kids came, Zach and the kids came over, like Tweet also.
Mm-hmm.
Tweet's not a kid.
No,
but just to use the pool, though. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. I really did.
And then we wrecked it by coming home.
Dang it. But no, how cool that our family will use that pool when we're not here. I love that.
Yeah.
We also have, you can walk through the back door if you have the code. And we got rid of all the other codes because I don't like Iggy. I really don't. We are done. We are officially done with them, but we are left with a less than perfect pool. Yes. Now, I'm sure it's perfect for some people. It's just not perfect for us.
John's very...
I just want it
demanding.
No, I want it low energy, low input, and instead they left us with something that's very different. So we will have to take care of that, and it's just going to cost more, but at the same time, we'll have a better system, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth...
It would have been better to have Jorge build us a pool, and I guarantee you he would be able to match whatever price it was. Plus, I would have a better...
That ship has sailed. It's done.
I understand. No, but what I'm saying is because once he dug the walls and had the reinforcement and stuff done, there's not a lot more that needs to be. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you're going to be buying a pool and you want an Iggy, if it's a simple, small system you want, I think that's probably the best. But if you want anything a little larger or modified, for gosh sakes, don't do that. Christy had mentioned about the other guy who's using him. He's now having the same problems we had, getting a hold of him, etc. This guy is the worst salesman in the history of the world. He should not be representing this company. He's a lovely fellow. He truly is a lovely, lovely fellow.
And he tries hard in his own way.
He does. But he is a terrible salesperson.
Yeah, Randy had a lot of issues with his pool. Hi, Karen, and hi, Randy.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so this is our first coffee time this week because Monday we had the show thingy, whatever it's called, not a show, but the seminar, which we actually didn't end up doing, and that's probably still recording at the office.
Might be full. The hard drive might be full.
And then
yesterday, just yesterday you had your work and showings.
Yesterday I had to go out to La Penita. I had to go all the way out there yesterday morning to deliver some papers and take possession of a house that we closed on. So that's what I took Shirley with me, and we went out there and got that done. Then had showings in the afternoon with a group of folk.
Yep, good folk.
Mm-hmm.
Good folk from Virginia.
And then today, and on Monday I did showings. Today I'm doing more showings.
I do like the referrals. Like I'm telling you, it is so weird getting all these referrals from other agents around the world. Call you up and say, hey, I see you speak English. You're not a serial killer, are you? Nobody's ever asked that question, actually.
No.
I think I'm the only person who's ever asked that of clients. So, yeah, it was just, you got to verify you're not working with serial killers. Because you want to make sure you're going to live at the end of the day.
Because most people are not serial killers.
But what if we found the right person and I said, are you a serial killer? And he says, yes. And I'm like, oh, now what do I do? Now I said, there's many agencies you should work with. These are probably the top 2 or 3 you should be working with.
And really work with them.
So I have to tell you, we had this guy shows up at our door, and he's holding these. Hang on. Holding these. These are why we live in Mexico. Now, these are horrible for your health if you're not a healthy person. It's the funny thing about health, etc. The less healthy you are, the worse stuff can be for you. Sugar, carbs, etc. That is terrible for me. But the guy shows up. He's chopped them off of my tree. And he said, these are done. They're starting to crack. Now, why did he do that? Did I tick him off so much? He's like, those people, they're ripened now, and they're not ripe. But he's like, and I look at him, and there is a banana that's cracked open. It is cracked open. I cannot deny that. But the way he made it sound like when the tree was bending over, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. He cut that off. He cut a whole big thing of it. It was leaning way over into the street.
Yeah, because of that.
Worse, because it actually, I saw it the other day, and you were not feeling well, so I didn't say anything to you. But it was.
But what kind of neighbor comes and chops your bananas off, brings them to your door?
I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before.
I've never seen him before. Maybe we should know who he is. Maybe he can clean our vehicle, etc. Because Jesse, he's a good guy, but he's just not.
Well, he hasn't been back.
He has not been back. He comes and he asks for money. And this one time, because Christie was pretty upset that the last time we asked him to clean the other house's yard, he just did a terrible job. He's never done that.
And I overpaid him for it because I do. I'm very generous with Jesse because I like him, and he's got a family, and he works hard. So, but when I saw what he actually did at the other house, I'm like, you know what, Dad, that's not the job that I expected of you.
Well, he never allowed you to talk to him about it afterwards.
No, and he hasn't come back. And then he came late one night and he asked for money, and I said no. Right. I wasn't feeling well, and he came and asked for money, and I told him no, and he hasn't been back. So. And
yesterday we needed a clean vehicle.
Yeah.
We did not have a clean vehicle. It was kind of embarrassing. It was. I mean, it was for me. I mean, you're just fine living in filth, but I'm not. I remember the old days when we had 4 kids.
Morning, Jolene.
When you have children, your house is always a disaster. And if you don't embrace that, your kids are going to be miserable. And I think it's awesome. But then once the kids all left, holy cow, Christie's an amazing housekeeper. But it's just when you have 4 kids, apparently it's a little more work.
Really? And I homeschooled. A little bit more work, yeah.
It's a little more work.
Just a little. In a small house, smaller than this one. But we had a basement.
We did have a basement, which was a cool basement.
Cool, man.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't have basements in Mexico. It's got to be because of the earthquakes. Mind you, no, that can't be it. It's got to be the cost, maybe. I don't know. Why do you think they don't have basements in Mexico?
I thought it was the water levels.
Could be. But even then, you can do something about that.
Lots of noisy dogs this morning.
Well, there's dogs that just ran past. A little pack. Pack of dogs.
Pack of dogs. Little pack of dogs.
Bailey, no. She's our helper. And she looks back and she sees me.
What is she doing?
I don't know. She's hiding from me right now.
But that was weird, the way she was walking.
Oh yeah, no, she saw me. That was it. It wasn't her walking by. It's me. It's fine. We're good. She's getting old.
She is.
Like her face looks so old. I have that AI stuff, and every once in a while I play with it. I haven't played with it in a while. Every once in a while I do.
Morning, Jeff. My mom said Matt, Shay, and dog. The dog is Chacho.
Are they on their way?
Chacho. They're staying at my mom's until they leave on the weekend.
Oh, very cool. But yeah, on the AI, I said, do a light-haired, golden-haired, I think is really what I said, Cocker Spaniel, female, 10 years old,
Little bit of
white. And it's amazing what this thing spits out. I mean, we have a few photos that look like they're pictures of Bailey.
Yeah.
Like, it is incredible how this AI just, and it gives you different options. Like, it'll have different, even Cocker Spaniel faces. There's one where it looks like Cappy. I miss that stupid dog. And it's been now almost 9 years. Oh my gosh. Yesterday, we celebrated 19 years living in Mexico. Yay to us. 19 years.
Yay to us.
And we didn't even realize it until we're sitting in the vehicle. Somebody says, oh, how long you lived here? And I said, oh, tomorrow it will be 19 years.
And we're like,
then I'm
actually
like,
it was yesterday.
Yeah, then we're like, but the 27th is today. So I'm like, oh my gosh, today is the day. So yesterday we celebrated 19 years in Mexico. And I tell you, there is no other place on earth where I would rather be. And I believe you feel the same way. We're going to have the garbage men come by again. What the heck? They're now coming by at a regular, consistent time.
Which is awesome.
Because in the old days, they could come by at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Sarah did take the garbage up yesterday, right? It was really full.
I don't know, honey, but it's always nice of you just to leave and
I was only there. You could still see me, and they could still hear me.
I couldn't see you. You
And Mike
disappeared.
also, congratulations. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. We do love Mexico.
Yeah.
Because the people who we were with yesterday, they love Mexico also.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they love Mexico so much, they've decided to learn the language. How nice of them.
Well, they have a little leg up. They're French, so it's easier.
Yeah, they don't just speak one language, they speak 3 now. And we were talking about this, the polyglots, which is they speak multi-languages. And there's a guy called Xiao Ma on YouTube, and he's an English fellow that speaks Chinese. He doesn't just speak 2 languages, though. He speaks 25.
He's American. He's not
He's
English.
American.
Yeah.
Speaks 25, 28 languages. Like, he speaks, like, African dialects. Like, he learns these things.
And an old native dialect that's rare.
A Norwegian guy calls him up and says, hey, we want to put you on the TV in 2 weeks. And he's like, well, I guess I'm going to have to learn Norwegian. So in 2 weeks, he was conversational in Norwegian, and he'd never learned Norwegian before. What kind of genius do you have to be to learn a language in 2 weeks?
Hi, Auntie Deanna.
We were so amazed with Mackenzie when we first moved to Mexico. Mackenzie would have been 10, 11. No, Zach was 12 when we moved to Mexico. So she would have been 10, 11. And she was conversational in Spanish in 3 months. Our minds were blown.
Yeah, she picked it up probably the fastest.
Oh, yeah.
But she also likes to talk the most, so.
Yeah, fair enough. But it is fascinating to watch children.
Love you, Kens.
Children learn languages is so fascinating to us. And I believe we've told you with Zach, we didn't even know he could speak Spanish until he was with some girls one day. Some very forward girls.
Yes.
The girls in Mexico are amazing because they're very forward. Spencer says, perks of having a child that never stops talking. There you go, Spence. Hello, son. Yeah, Spence is one too. Spence was so cool, I don't need to learn Spanish. And he did know it. He just was never forced to speak it because his older siblings did all that stuff for him. So yeah, in grade 5, though, we sent him to a Spanish school. He ends up teaching the kids English.
Yeah.
Hola, because the teachers there were kind of like, hey, you speak English, we need English. You how old would you be in grade 5? Probably 5, 11 years old, 12 years old in that area.
I think it's 10.
they had him doing manual labor, sweeping, and his courses were amazing. He's still getting 8s to 10s, and that was and that's how they grade here in Mexico.
Jolene is asking how many days the kids are driving. They plan on taking like 3 weeks and driving down.
Yeah. I'm excited for them. I mean, it's a great drive.
Yeah.
We did it in 5 days because we thought we had to be here, only to find out we were working in timeshare.
Yeah, someone had this great job opportunity for John, so we rushed down here to take advantage of it, and it was timeshare.
Yeah, and you have to lie for a living in timeshare. I do not envy the timeshare people, and especially timeshare people who stay in timeshare. Because if you stay in timeshare, you've bought and sold your soul.
Yeah. And good morning, Willie. And yes, it's always a great day in paradise.
It is. And it's 19 years and a day for us.
19 years and a day.
It's like 2 years and a day is older for me. Right, honey?
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
It's funny you're older than me and I'm still a little taller than you. That's just weird to me.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my whole entire life. And you've said some dumb stuff.
I was going to say, you heard some dumb things. So I guess I'm getting better with age. So this cough, and all of you have been sick, I'm sure, because there is a disease going around that is so contagious that many, 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 many people have had it.
It's called a cold.
Is it a cold? Because this one feels a little serious in my lungs.
But it was just a cold for me.
And
wasn't it just last week John kept bragging about how I haven't been sick and blah, 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 blah?
I did. But
that's what you get for being a bragger.
No, but what happened, I used to say too, I used to get sick first.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's second or third. Like I'm always the last one to get sick.
But I think it depends on where it comes from. Because if it comes from the girls, I'm close. Like I spend more time close up to them. So if they're breathing their little hot germs, they're getting me first.
But yeah, it's not fun. I mean, and it is. Christie says, "I am glad I had this first, so I know how serious it is. Otherwise, I would just call you a pansy." That was exactly what she said.
Just like that too.
Yeah, with the voice, she does that voice. This is my Christie voice. So whenever Christie is angry, she uses that voice. But it wasn't karma. It wasn't karma. No, it's just an immune system that's not as good as it should be. So then that's another thing. So if you guys have been sick, did any of it get into your lungs and start, were you coughing so much that sometimes you thought you were going to pass out and you had to like brace yourself against the wall? Did your head feel like it was going to explode out the back, but not a headache? It felt like somebody took air and and they inflated your head. It had fluffy headitis. So last night, I'm having a very difficult time sleeping. The people who we were with yesterday, I forgot why I started having that stuff. And now, oh my gosh, why am I taking pink pills to sleep? It's so dumb. It's so dumb because when you take the pink pills to sleep, which is that Costco antihistamine, is what I'm talking about.
Hi, Auntie Jeanette. So Willie is asking, did you turn the camera around? And hi, Tiff. Yes, we were, it used to be this away. Is it clean enough to show? It used to be this away. Now we're this away, mostly because we're using the laptop. When we did it that other way, we had...
I just thought, I'm going to go. I don't. Mackenzie actually did pass out. I guess... Okay, this is probably one of the most embarrassing things of my entire life. When I was in high school, I did not eat much. I mean, I was so busy, I never got to do that stuff. So grade 12, and they were talking about STDs in the drama room because they had a presentation and you had to attend it. So I'm attending the STD seminar, and partway through, all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm going to pass out. Oh, no. So then my mom had to come and get me because
He's in grade 12.
I'm in grade 12. And the problem was I was not eating enough. And I was this height and I weighed 140 pounds, 150 pounds max.
He was a skinny little thing.
So that means I have gained now about 90 pounds from when I weighed that 140 pounds. So, and I was way heavier than that. So I would have gained 120 pounds above my ideal weight. So yeah, it's kind of a funny thing that.
Oh God, what's with the voices?
That's your voice. You do that voice all the time.
It's not my voice, you nut job.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. So then, yeah, it was embarrassing because I almost passed out at the thing, and not fun. Because then it's kind of how people remember you, you know.
Such a weirdo.
I know.
He's laughing at
Oh,
your...
and I did almost pass out again when Christie was in. We took that
prenatal class.
I'm
like, oh, you're going to be a great help, aren't you?
Yeah. So they're doing the videos, and all of a sudden I'm like, I gotta go inside. And then when I went outside, I saw all these weird. It's in a teaching school for nurses, and all these young gals, and maybe like 3 or 4 guys in the entire school. And I'm like, those are the smartest guys in the history of the earth, because they're hanging out with all these young ladies, and there are hundreds and hundreds of women and 3 or 4 guys, smartest guys in the history of the world. Now they may have been gay. I don't know.
You were at a prenatal class with your pregnant wife, and that's what you're thinking about?
I was thinking that those are smart guys.
Jeez, I wish I could have that thought about you.
You've never thought I'm smart?
Well, not right now. Not when you talk.
I guess it's kind of true.
You know, doing showings in this country are very difficult.
Oh, are they
These
canceling on you?
agents are canceling last minute. They're pissing me off.
Yeah. So it is so crazy how slow the market is, but it isn't, because as soon as the property hits the market, it's gone. There are lineups of people waiting for a specific inventory. So as soon as something hits, you gotta grab it fast.
Yeah.
Like, because to do a report and tell people, hey, in the last 7 days, from Miss Maloya to Chicala, the entire MLS area, 1 resale condo hit the market. That was a week ago. That is insane. To have 1 property hit the MLS in 7 days is stupid.
Stupid awesome.
That's stupid awesome if you're selling and you're the person that listed it, and you're the person or the person that has the sale.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of double ending because there's so many clients that are built up, etc.
Yeah. We have a list of clients that we know what they want, and
yeah. Oh, we do have a condo that is going to be hitting the MLS here,
unless
Christie's
today.
It's their number one.
Yeah.
It's a $320,000.
And I don't think we're going to see anything today that's going to bump it. No. To be honest,
it's $320,000, and it's a good price. It's going to sell at full price. It'll sell very quick as soon as it hits the MLS. If these clients don't buy it, if you know anybody that wants something that's close to the water, you don't see the water, sadly, because you do now.
Right now, yeah. And that development that was going to go there isn't happening. So I was talking to Horacio, for the foreseeable future, there's nothing going in there. So they have full-on ocean view.
Yeah, for $320,000.
Yeah.
So until something gets built, and something will.
Yes, there will be something there eventually.
It could be 5 years.
Yeah.
It could be 3 years. It could be 10 years, because you never know. It's a Mexico story.
And then in that close to that same area, a client of ours just messaged this morning and is contemplating selling his oceanfront condo. That's going to be more. It's because it's right oceanfront and it's much bigger, but it's a beauty.
Guys, Hey.
Where is it located? Which one, Jolene? In Los Picos. Both of them actually are in the Los Picos area. One is closer to Centro, the one that isn't official yet. The other one is on the other side, further closer to Suca, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, the other one's in a great location.
Yeah.
That actually is probably my favorite location.
Hi, Jenny.
For condos, just because it's a beautiful area. That's where we lived for 9 years.
Yeah, Los Picos.
People are like, well, why would you leave there? Well, if everybody knows where you live, but the guy died too. That's sad.
Oh, the owner of the house.
The owner of the house. It was a great house, but
Yeah.
it needed to be destroyed because it was falling apart.
Oh, no, they just renovated it. If you classify something as a renovation, not a new build, you don't have to get the same kind of permits. It's a lot faster, a lot easier, a lot cheaper. So that's what that.
But we're going to use that.
If you want to know the true reason that people leave those bars on their roof, it's not for taxes. It is in case they want to build more, they don't have to, they get different types of permits. So there you go.
Unfortunately, the problem with government is they create all types of rules. So the government workers have a job, but there are rules that they create also that are beneficial. But unfortunately, that just creates a world where nothing ever looks finished for that reason. Which is why I think if you want to buy something and it has to look finished, buying in a development is probably the best. Because in this world, it's very complicated. It never looks finished outside of the developments for the most part. Toronto 1 would be an exception.
Yeah, it's constant renovation going on. Hi, Helen.
But Toronto 1, though, I think has been one of the coolest developments to watch. Because when it was first built, for the first 6 years, Christie and I had nothing to do with it. You know, what kind of nut job is going to want to do that where you can have a taco stand next door or a car rental company parking their vehicles on the street or whatever?
Yeah.
6 years later, holy smokes, to see what some of the owners did in there.
Well, and they made it so you can't have a business in there. So that was the first smart thing they did.
I would say the best place is Toronto 1 because you can do anything you want to your property. But the worst thing about Toronto 1 is so can your neighbor.
Yeah.
And if you understand that,
yeah,
that's fine. So you want to make sure that where you buy is in a spot that nothing can take your view, etc. Because some people have built some incredible properties there. So Toronto 1, good place. If you can get a good deal. There's nothing called a good deal anymore, which kind of sucks. And we have something to do with that, but the world also has way more to do with that. And there's nothing like understanding you had a hand in destroying
a whole town.
And it's not, I don't believe that because everybody here is from somewhere else. That is the most important thing to understand. There is no typical Bucerias because in the 70s, this was nothing. This used to be a dirt road that people would come up. So you're not protecting anything, and everybody here is from somewhere else. And that is why I think there's no pride, like the garbage and the spray paint on the walls and all that. When you go into traditional, typical Mexico where people have lived, families for 400, 500 years, very different world. Okay.
Ocean View up Lirios in 5th of September. That's a great deal. Torrey Lirios, great deal under 350.
Do you know about that?
That's in Vallarta up the hill.
Oh, yeah. In Vallarta, it's a different world. Vallarta has more inventory. There's no doubt about that.
But still not great inventory.
No, but even then, when you look at the condos, if one condo hits a resale, hits the market for over an hour and a half drive. One condo in a week. That's crazy town, man. That's crazy town. But we have, and I'm just going to tell you guys that we have MexicoLife.com. MexicoLife.com, which you see up in the corner there, that is for the Flex MLS system. It's faster than the MLS. When you go to the search listings and then hit that green filter button, you can do new construction, pet friendly, primary view. You can do everything there just by clicking buttons, etc. So we have MexicoLife.com, BuceriasHomes.com, which is the Point 2 platform. We've used Point 2 now since 2007, more or less. It's turning terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's almost not worth keeping anymore.
I know, and we've made so much money off of that website, but the problem is they're keeping inventory on there that is long sold. Like I can have something sold for 2 months or 3 months and it still shows up in the feed, and they do that on purpose to try and draw clients. Problem is, in this world, when everybody wants stuff now,
Yeah, they get frustrated and then they kind of
they blame
get mad at us.
Yeah, and it's not us. It's the point two platform that doesn't delete these inventories. The beauty with Mexico Life is as soon as something goes into escrow, it's immediately removed from the MLS. Now, there are other companies that keep those listings on their property. They need to be shot
They
because
do it intentionally.
it is against the MLS rules. So you got there. You've also got MLS Vallarta, not a fan. It's owned by a local real estate company and it's private ownership, which is like 0.2.
Thank you, Shannon, for that information.
Yes, absolutely. We'll chat with you about that. So you've got MLS Vallarta, which we were with MLS Vallarta for, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years, and they're not cheap. They're more expensive than the Flex to be an actual professional agent and to use the MLS unlimited listings. It's more inexpensive to be a member of that than it is to be on MLS Vallarta. Then we found MLS Vallarta was a closed system, so people who they liked would get all the leads. So this is how many leads we got from MLS Vallarta.
In all the years.
Real leads. We got one lead from the owner at the time stating, hey, if you work with us, then we'll figure out blah, blah, blah. I'm like, holy crap, it's a rate.
It was a private message to someone else that we...
Oh yeah, that was very strange.
Jim wants to know if you gave him the cold, runny nose, sore throat, and a cough just before a multi-flight 4-day of travel for you. Sorry, probably. You know, John's spreading his germs around.
They're going to...
Dan Weeb from Olds is my realtor's friend. We know him. Dan Weeb is my cousin. My cousin's husband, actually. Cheryl and Gary, good morning. All right, guys. On that note, we need to say goodbye.
Adios.
Have a great day. I know we will. It's paradise, and it's turning out to be a beautiful sunny morning.
It's really beautiful.
So you guys have a great one, and we will chat soon. Bye.
Adios.